Assalamualaikum.
Yeah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and very good afternoon to all of you. My name is Dr. Ahmad Muhyiddin Hassan from Academy Tamadun Islam, Academy of Islamic Evaluation, University Technology Malaysia. I am your moderator for the third parallel session today. So everyone is given 10 minutes for the presentation. I think all of you is present now. Okay. Please take note that everyone is given 10 minutes for their presentation. Then we will have a Q&A at the end of this session. Okay. The theme for this session is education. Right? Education. Okay. We have three paper presenters for this session. Let me introduce the first presenter. The first presenter is Reni Marlina. Reni Marlina is there? Reni Marlina. The title is Contribution of Parental Influence on Pupils' Major Choice During COVID-19 Pandemic. Is there Reni Marlina? Reni Marlina is not ready yet. Okay, the second presenter is Ahmad Muhaimin. Oh, maybe I got the wrong groups. Who is the first presenter for this session actually? Umi Najwa.
Yes.
Umi Najwa. Oh, I got wrong paper here. I got wrong group here. Okay, Umi Najwa. Your title is what, Umi Najwa?
Translation of compound nouns, Malay Arabic, using dynamic theory and Arabization method.
Okay, no problem. Okay, can we start our presentation now?
Yes.
Okay. Without further ado, I would like to give the floor to the first presenter. That is Umi Najwa. You may begin your presentation now. The times given to you is 10 minutes. Okay, you may start now.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Umi Najwa binti Wahyuddin, under observation with Dr. Tahere bin Muhammad Ramli from Faculty of Language and Communication, Sultan Idris University of Education, will be presenting the title for my study, the Translating Malay Compounds into Arabic based on Dynamic Theory and Arabization method. So, first of all, the introduction. The study shows the method of translating compound words online based on the Malay-Arabic language by using online translation machines. Compound nouns form when two or more basic words are broken down through a compounding process into one sentence form, leading to a change in the meaning and other functions. Compound nouns consist of two parts. The head is referring to as the core and the illuminator. The head core is on the left side of the compound word, while the illuminator is on the right side, which explains the function of the head word of the compound word. For example, the word table in the dining table is the head of the compound word, while the word dining is an illuminator that describes the function of the table as a place to eat. However, the problem that arises when translating the extended structure of compound nouns into Arabic is placing the head and the adjectives. This problem is due to the use of compound nouns in Malaysia that were influenced by human names, cultures, shapes, properties, and colors. The issues in structuring the long compound nouns occurred among school children from the point of writing skills and at the university when students have to translate the Malay language compound nouns to Arabic. The process of structuring compound words in Arabic using appropriate methods is no longer known. As stated by Afiq Mahazi and Hakim Zainal 2018, Arabic word patterns still need to be studied. There are no suitable elements and methods for forming Arabic words. Additionally, the existing compound nouns do not meet the genuinely Arabic style. For example, the International Islamic University of Malaysia has translated as Al-Jami'ah Al-Islamiyah Al-Alamiyah Malaysia. The translation carries a meaning that the readers can understand. Unfortunately, it is not according to the style of language used by the Arabs. Therefore, this study aims to solve the problem in translating long compound nouns by introducing appropriate methods based on dynamic theory and Arabization method, and further introduce the compound noun structuring model that is closer to Arabic style. So this is the conceptual framework for this study. And the next one is background research. The translation activities that took place not only focused on the purpose of communicating but also supported efforts to disseminate knowledge and information to the community. As stated by Levi 2000, that translation becomes a communication process that aims to channel the original knowledge to foreign readers. Effective transfer of knowledge and information accompanied by the rapid development of knowledge and economies to ensure that every layer of society can follow the development that occurs and then can take the opportunity to participate in national development efforts is a crucial factor of a developed and optimistic country can be born. Today, the methods of or system used in translation activities are becoming more widespread. The translation done today is not only dependent on human translation but also machines. This phenomenon can be seen when the technological word speed helps humans produce the process of transferring a language to another language efficiently and quickly through online or and electronic dictionaries and printed dictionaries. The use of machine-assisted translation software is no stranger to translators and used widely. This machine-assisted translation software is accessible free of charge and saves times. The online translation and dictionary applications introduced today can be downloaded using a smartphone while facilitating translation activities. However, machine-assisted translation activities still have weaknesses and limitations in translating, especially in translating words, sentences, and phrases. Therefore, the phenomenon of Malay language translation to Arabic requires further study to find a system or method suitable translation to translate words, phrases, and sentences more accurately and suitable for oral and writing. So this is the literature review list for my studies. And the next one is methodology. I use qualitative method for analyzing content to collect and analyze data, and dynamic theory and Arabization, which is applied in translating compound nouns, and the Arabization method to be applied for compound nouns which contain foreign words, and then focus on 30 data of compound nouns, and then will be classified into three categories, which is school, universities or institutions, and clinics, and using 3 types of machine translation, which is Google Translator, Bing, Microsoft, and Yandex. And then all the translation will be analyzed based on 3 main points, that is level of grammar, level of Arabization, and level of dynamic translation. So this is the method for structuring compound noun, which is based on the box given here, the formula. The first box is the prescribed box, and the second box is the adjective box. For the prescribed box, first of all, we need to put the improper noun, which is we need to check first the nouns, either in male or female figure, or in Arabic we say as muzakkar or muannas, and then followed by the proper noun for the prescribed box. While for the adjective, we have to put based on what differentiate the adjective or describe its place at the end of the noun, we have to arrange the adjective for the nouns here based on it from the general to the specific adjectives. So, for example, can be shown here. Sekolah Menengah Agama Tinggi Sultan Idris, which is when we translate it into Arabic. For each word, sekolah can be translated as al-madrasah, menengah as al-thanawiyah, agama as ad-diniyah, while tinggi as al-aliyah, and Sultan Idris as Sultan Idris. So, to apply this translation to this formula, first of all, we need to put the improper nouns. The improper nouns is al-madrasah. So, the proper noun is Sultan Idris. And the adjectives, we have to arrange from the general to the specific adjective for this school name. First of all, the number one is al-thanawiyah, and the second one is al-aliyah, and the third one is ad-diniyah. Why the reason why ad-diniyah is the last one is that to show that this is the uniqueness of the school as a religious school, different from the other type of school. So the result is Madrasah Sultan Idris Al-Thanawiyah Al-Aliyah Ad-Diniyah. Okay, so this is the result. I only choose one from the 30 data. I only choose one for this for the result. Okay, so this is the structure. How the structure happened from this compound noun, both in Malay and Arabic translation. So the table 3. This is the suggested compound noun translation into Arabic, which is the more appropriate translation based on Arabic style. So Madrasah Al-Sheikh Abdullah Fahim Al-Thanawiyah Al-Watani Ad-Diniyah. This is also based on the formula provided here. How I make the proper translation for this school name, Sekolah Menengah Kebahasaan Agama Sheikh Abdullah Fahim. So the conclusion is Malay-Arabic compound noun translation using online machine translation still needs to be consistent and repaired based on the Arabic style. Translation activities are easier with the help of translation machines, but the process and methods to structure the compound nouns Arabic is still requires study and training. This situation clearly shows that machine translation activities still need the help of manpower, as stated by Tajrijal 2017. Combining machine energy and manpower in translation is a practical proposal, where the machines were created for translation while humans serve as editors to drive high accuracy and quality of translation. This compound noun translation model can be proposed as a new translation method for Arabic language users, especially translators and Arabic language learners at the school and higher education levels. So for the appreciation, I would like to convey the appreciation to my supervisor, Dr. Tahere Muhammad Romli, and the Faculty of Language and Communication for my research of Sultan Idris University of Education and the 4th ICCTME21 Organizing Committee, University Technology Malaysia. Thank you for giving this huge opportunity for me to share my study with all of you. I hope that this study can be beneficial to all students out there, to all people out there, especially for Arabic language user, especially among students and translator or higher education level students. So this is the list of my references for this study. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation, Umi Najwa. Okay, without further ado, I would like to give the floor to the second presenter, that is Dr. Mana Al-Mizair. Dr. Mana Al-Mizair will present his paper. The title of the paper is a review of mobile cloud computing in education during the COVID-19 pandemic in Jordan.
Okay, السلام
Okay, the
عليكم.
floor is yours.
Okay,
Okay, you may start your presentation now.
okay, but 1 minute. Um, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Manar Mizher from Jordan, from Amman Arab University. At the beginning, I am pleasure to meet you today, and I want to thank conference community to give us the opportunity to meeting all of you. My research it's about a review of mobile cloud computing in education during the COVID-19 pandemic in Jordan. I do this research with Dr. Hussam from Al Ahliya Amman University and Manal Mizher from Malaysia. Our research it will focus about outlines, introduction, objectives, research background, and other points. About as we know, the concept of MCC, mobile cloud computing, becomes a commonly recent trend because of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in most vital sectors around the world. One of these sectors is the educational sector. And the architecture of MCC, it's about many users using different devices such as mobile, tablet, smart computers or TVs to connect to internet, to connect to server, and this server it's not local network. No, it's they can contact with the server via the internet. So the most yeah, important concept about mobile architecture its users and devices and the internet. About our research, we review and study and reviews the perceptions of using MCC on teachers, parents, and the students during the COVID-19 lockdowns period in Jordan. The objective of our study, studying the educational environment from MCC user viewpoint and studying the difficulties that the user face while using MCC in learning and their concerns about using MCC. Also, we highlighting the extent to which users know and accept MCC that they use and their material and technical effects on them and their privacy. Research background before the pandemic of COVID-19, the MCC was researched in educational sector by many researchers. While during COVID-19, other researchers focus on how COVID-19 reshaping education and transferring it from traditional face-to-face learning to distance online learning. So, in our research also focus on how COVID-19 transfer the education in Jordan from face-to-face learning to distance learning. Our conceptual framework, we can divide it into three steps. Case study, qualitative design, and design the questionnaire, finally statistical qualitative analysis. At the first stage, we preview we review the perceptions of using MCC on teachers, parents, and students because these are the main users for the education, and the most people affected by the transferring in the education. Also, in step two, in the questionnaire, we design a questionnaire using Google Forms and publish it by social media over the internet. In the third step, statistical qualitative analysis, based on the 63 of MCC user responses, about more than 50 of the user are female, and about 30 of them are students, about 50 are parents, and teachers only about 14. A majority of the MCC teachers and parent educational level is a bachelor degree, and the stage of the students mostly about uh, about 40 they were a students. الميثودology of our research, we at the beginning not specify to certain age or gender or course of selected student. No, we take it randomly sampling method. And the questionnaire we publish it as via the internet and using Facebook and WhatsApp, and divided it to main two sectors. Educational environment and technology were used, and knowledge about the educational process by the use of MCC. Users' information about MCC technology, acceptance to learn MCC technology, user opinion about MCC technology. Research result. At the end of our research, we can summarize the result. Over 60 of the user use social media, 50 use collaborative application as a communication method through their smart mobile devices, compared to user who relied on specialized e-learning educational platform, computers or television. About 50 of the users agreed to learn MCC technologies if it is required, especially if they have the opportunity to see someone using these techniques in front of them. Near about 35 of the users thought that MCC threats their privacy. And over 65 of the users determined the most difficulty or fear is disconnecting communication, especially while performing online exams. After study all responses from the users and parents and teachers, we can conclude that mobile devices are preferred by distance learning during the COVID-19 pandemic in Jordan. Although the live broadcast was the most used type of educational material resource, but in total, cloud computing is still the most used in education during the COVID-19 pandemic in Jordan. Although the most used type of communication method were collaborative applications and social media, which do not depend directly on cloud computing, surely it still need clouds for completing their process in a professional way. So, based on our result, we suggest to design an online MCC system framework using a real-time cloud database. The suggested system what's the new of our suggested system is to store all related information and records in a cloud server. That's allow users like students to attend exam even the internet connected is failed. They can extend they can connect the exam offline and do the answer their exams, and when their device is online the answer will submit it directly to the server. That mean our suggested framework can increase reliability. So, at the conclusion from our research, students believe that MCC technology made learning easier for them. The information that was discussed during the lectures are available, and the process of retrieval this information is easy. Distance learning reduce bullying among university students, although it has weak social relations. Some teachers claim that they are not prepared for such a method of learning, so they need some practice and to learn this technique. At the end, thank you for listening. And this is the list of the reference. Thank you. Uh, I am now end my presentation. Thank you.
UTM, University Technology Malaysia.
legal system
Assalamu alaikum wa
as
rahmatullahi
an
wa
example of
barakatuh.
original
Very good
taxation in England
afternoon.
and
Everyone here is
America, and
to my
also from the Iranian side. You
Subati.
can say that
How are you
force majeure,
doing?
frustration, and hardship, and their own meanings.
Assalamu alaikum,
And
Dr. Ilham. Can you hear me?
finally, we
Testing,
come to
testing,
the
1, 2, 3.
conclusion that
Saiful, that there is
coronavirus
noise, and can
has
you
been
just tell me
redefined.
where the noise is coming from, please? Oh, okay. All right. So, okay. So Dr. Ilham. All right. Okay. So we have Dr. Ilham here on the line. Before we go on, again, let me just welcome everybody here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Again, welcome everybody to the ICCTME, and this is the session for Society and Religion. My name is Dr. Abdullah Muhammad Nawi, and I am the Assistant Dean for External and Global Engagement for the Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, UTM. And we were supposed to have 3 panelists with us here today, but apparently there's been some problems with the VPNs on their side in Iran, and I'm told that sometimes it is a problem obtaining the ability to attend international activities because of the embargoes and the restrictions. Nevertheless, we were supposed to have 3 panelists, Robab Omidi, Sayyid Ahmad Reza Khizri, and Ilham Sobati. So here with us, we have one person here, alhamdulillah. It is Dr. Ilham Sobati. So Dr. Ilham, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling good? Doctor, your mic, you're on mute at the moment. Can you unmute?
So sorry. Yes. Thank you, dear doctor. So sorry for delay, but dear doctor, I don't know how I can share my PowerPoint.
Okay, right.
I don't know.
So we have a technical team with us. Saiful, can you please? Okay. So Saiful says click on the share button.
Okay.
Share button somewhere. At the bottom of your screen, there's a share button.
Here.
Yeah. So click on the share button, and you can share your file.
Share screen.
Okay. It's a share screen.
Okay, that's very good.
Okay. That is not possible, unfortunately.
So you have the video of
Is it working? Is it not working?
No.
It's not okay. It's not working. Okay. What I can probably do is, do you want to send? What I can do right now is, you can send over your file. Yeah, you can send over your file to Saiful here, to our stage manager, and then perhaps Saiful can do something about that. Saiful, can you help share Dr. Ilham's presentation? It seems that she's unable to share on her
So sorry,
computer.
I want to give help of my colleagues.
Oh, okay. All right.
نه نه خیلی ارائه میخواد چرا؟ هم در بخونه نه
خب واسه نیستم بگیرم چی بارم؟
یه جنیا 5 دقیقه را نخواه یه دکتر عبدالله سر دکتر عبدالله سلام علیکم.
How are you? Long time no see. Are you good?
صدای الان صدای جه. Yes, I صدا شد.
So, Prof. Abdullah, salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
How are you? How is your family? Everything is okay there?
How are you? It's been 2 years since we last saw each other. Such a
long time.
It's good to
From
see you.
visiting long time.
Okay, all right. So, shall we start the session then? Because we're are you okay? Okay. All right. Good to see you. Dr. Parvez.
You remember me, huh?
Yes, of course. Dr. Parvez, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. I never forget all your kindnesses there. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Doctor. It's great to see
So
you
now
again.
my colleague is going to present.
Okay.
Uh, actually, through speaking, you can give your speaking. No need for PowerPoint or
It's
slides, huh?
it's totally up to you. If you have a PowerPoint, then you can share. If you don't, then you can speak. There's absolutely no problem.
Yeah, speaking is better, I think. نعم إذا بكرة أنا وشي هو بكرة.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen who are watching this feed right now, so this is again what normally happens, or what sometimes can happen if you have international collaborations thousands of miles away and you're on a platform that may be unfamiliar. So we'll wait patiently for how to get the slides up and running. And while we're doing that, again, we really do have had a great session at the moment, because I can see that all the parallel sessions that have been going on, we've had law and order, we've had security, we've had education, and now this session is for society and religion. And I'm really hoping that everybody has had a really good time. So just going to check in with Ilham there. Ilham, are you ready? Okay, Ilham?
Doctor, I can start.
Please,
I cannot share my PowerPoint. Thank you. I cannot share my PowerPoint. I'm so sorry for that, but I just read my PowerPoint.
Okay. All right. Yep. Or what you can do is you can start sharing, or Saiful has sent an email that perhaps you can send over your files to him, and let's see if he is able to share using his credentials. Do you want to try that?
Yes, I wanted to give my presentation in this way.
Okay. All right. So
okay.
you just speak, yeah?
Yes. Thank you, dear doctor.
Okay.
So sorry for that, doctor.
No problem.
Okay. In the name of God, so sorry for delay and for the problem. I am Elham Sobati, assistant professor of ILAM University on linguistics. I and my dear colleague Dr. Afshar, we write an article about a critical analysis of speech acts in Iran's Ministry of Health, talks about the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. The communication needs of society firm language. As the communication needs of that linguistic community change, so does the language. And with coronavirus outbreak in the world, there have been changes in the lifestyles and interactions of all members of society. The occurrence of these changes is widely seen in the vocabulary of the language. Due to the social distance, people preserved all the information about the coronavirus from the social networks, and one of the reliable sources for information on the coronavirus was the Ministry of Health messages. So this study aims at identifying and examining the speech acts in Iran's Ministry of Health speeches, Dr. Said Namaki, about the coronavirus and about the COVID-19 pandemic. Our theoretical framework was the speech acts of Austin and Searle. Austin, one of the Oxford philosophers, was the first to propose the theory of speech acts in the 1959 lectures. In 1962, after his death, several lectures were published entitled "How to Do Things with Words." In the opening chapters of this book, he demonstrated that an expression cannot be fulfilled, but it is placed in the suitable condition. Second, the speech acts were categorized into three components by Austin. First, The locutionary act defined as the surface meaning of the utterances in a special context. Second is the underlying intentions of the speaker of making the utterances, like promising, naming, requesting, ordering, and etc. Third, perlocutionary act is a reaction of a listener to the illusionary act of a speaker, such as inspiring, persuading, consoling, and etc. Searle in 1969 reclaimed that illocutionary acts into 5 categories. Number one, assertive or representative, which commit the speaker to the truth of the told utterances, like claiming, reporting, stating. The second one is directive, considered as effort to get the audience to do some actions like demanding, requesting, challenging, begging. The third one is expressive, which consider as utterances of some psychological moods like rating, apologizing, thanking, congratulating, and etc. The number four is commissive, the speaker warranty to doing something in the future, like promising, threatening, offering, swearing. And the last one is declarative. The speaker makes real changes in the world with his or her announcement. This type of speech act occurs when the speaker has the necessary power and qualification to announce something, like dismissing, declaring a war. Okay, about our methodology. This study is principally library-based, since it includes reviewing news in which data provided for analysis have been collected from reputable and documented news agencies and social networks. In this article, from the more than 1,000 of messages that Dr. Said Namaki, the Iran Minister of Health, published, a total of 263 messages, which included the general content of all his messages, were examined by descriptive analytic method. The collected messages were categorized using speech acts and analyzed utilizing statistical methods such as chi-square test and SPSS software. Okay. About our discussion. In this section, we want to examine the Speech Act in the speeches of the Iran Minister of Health about the COVID-19 pandemic to understand which of the speech acts are more used. In the following, the frequency table of each of the speech acts is drawn. Unfortunately, you can see this table. Okay, here I want to give you just the reports because you can see about the Assertive Speech Act. The rank of Assertive Speech Acts and its frequency table summarized in the following table, which I just reported to you. It is apparent that emphasize with frequency 31 and rank equal to 2 more used among the other elements, and a pause with frequency 1 and rank 6 was less used. This was the report of that table. Another one is Assertive Speech Act. The rank of Assertive Speech Act component and its frequency table summarized summarized here. It is apparent that emphasize with frequency 31 and rank equal to 2 more used among the other element, and a pause with the frequency 1 and rank 6 was less used. Another one was Expressive Speech Acts. The rank of Expressive Speech Acts was in this way. It is evidence that appreciate with 14 times and rank 1 more used among the other elements, and 4 components with rank 15 were less used. Okay, here you can see these tables. Another one was Directive Speech Act. The rank and frequency of the Directive Speech Acts are as follows. One with the frequency 21 and rank equal to 1 more used among the other components. Another one was Commissive Speech Acts. Commissive Speech Act has 2 components, contains proof and promise, which each one used 15%. Declarative Speech Act, which was the last one, moreover, declarative has 3 parts, contains start doing a job and an announce, which used 16.37%, 8.33%, and 75% respectively. These percentages show announced more use among these components. And we had also sentences with two types of speech act, which directive with frequency 2 more used, and the other components were used the same. Unfortunately, you can see my tables about the result. The most important conclusion we obtained from the data review were as follows. Dr. Said Namaki made all 5 classes of SIR 1969 speech acts with varying degrees of these classes. The assertive speech act with the frequency 101 and the rank 1 was the most used in assertive speech act emphasized with frequency 31, and rank 2 and opposed with frequency 1 and rank 6 had the most and the least use respectively. The Commissive Speech Act with frequency 4 was the least used. Commissive Speech Act has 2 components, contain proof and a promise, which each one used 50% by Iran's Minister of Health among the speech acts about the COVID-19 pandemic. The differences among the frequency of the Speech Act component used were statistically significant. Okay, thank you, dear doctor, and appreciation for hearing this presentation. I am so sorry, which I couldn't share my PowerPoint, and you couldn't be able to see my tables, and I'm so sorry for this bad presentation.
No problem at all, doctor. Thank you very much. At least you made it here. That's the most important thing. You present.
Thank you, dear doctor.
So thank you very much to Dr. Dr. Ilham Sobati from ILAM University, and for the benefit of our audience, ILAM University is a university. We're excited in exploring collaboration opportunities as well. And right now, I'm opening the floor. Now, usually as in a conference, we open the floor for questions. But before that, just a little refresher on the title of Dr. Ilham's presentation. It is the critical analysis of speech acts in Iran's Ministry of Health talks about the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes.
So, Dr. Ilham's work analyzes speech acts within these speeches, and that makes it fascinating research into discourse analysis. Yeah. Okay. So we open the floor to questions from people within the StreamYard room, and for our audience on Facebook. And I was going to ask the moderator, Saiful, if we have any questions at the moment, Saiful? If we do have any questions, can you please feature them here so that we know, so that we can get Dr. Ilham Sobati to answer the questions. Okay, so far we don't have any questions, and I think that's probably we might want to end the session there. Dr. Ilham, just to create a little bit of value here, you didn't tell us about your background. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Your background and how long you've been working at ILAM University?
I'm about 5 years, which I'm working on ILAM University.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the faculty of this university.
Right.
I'm working on linguistics. I'm the faculty of linguistics, general linguistics, and we are deal with yes. I think your field is linguistic or education, dear doctor.
No, I'm education. So it's I'm interested in linguistics, but I in fact I supervise some of my PhD students who venture into linguistics. So I have a working knowledge of linguistics, but I'm not a specialist. So it's great to see people who are interested in linguistics. For me, especially, I'm very much interested in historical linguistics. I think it's the progression of languages and how language transforms with the migration of people. So that's something that I'm very interested in
So,
studying.
dear doctor, some of our matters are shared with each other. I mean, some of the matter between the linguistics and education are shared. You can do on the pragmatics. I know that the education students work on pragmatic and psychology and society. And language and society, and we are deal with and we are shared these two subjects. Discourse analysis is shared between education and linguistics. Even another matter can be shared between these two. This education and linguistics, they are related to each other, dear doctor.
Definitely related. Okay, then. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have for this session. I'd like to thank the sole participant of our session, Dr. Ilham Sobati. Thank you very much for coming and presenting and sharing your work with us. And we hope to see you again in the future for any collaborations. And please give our regards to Dr. Shabash and Dr. Parvez as well. It's been a long time since we saw them here in Malaysia. Okay.
Sure. Thank you, dear
Thank you very much, everybody. This is me. My name is Dr. Abdullah Muhammad Nawi, and the Assistant Dean of Sciences and Humanities, University Technology Malaysia, signing off for my session and giving my session to the person in charge of this room. So once again, thank you very much, and I bid you farewell. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Back to you, Saiful, and good to see you, Dr. Ilham. Hopefully, inshallah, we'll meet in the future.
Sure. Thank you, dear doctor. Thank you. We will have. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.